Recent research suggests that the role of biological elements in building willpower may not be as crucial as previously thought. Instead of accounting for 70% of our willpower throughout the day, these elements are likely to account for only 30%. Most of the time, what goes on in our heads has a considerably higher impact on our levels of willpower. 5 psychological elements will help you stay motivated, strengthen your willpower, and keep your ego from being depleted. And that's what we'll be discussing today. The first strategy entails breaking down the larger works into smaller, more manageable chunks. Chunking is the process of breaking down a major work into small, manageable chunks. Rather than focusing on the total number of hours spent on an activity, we can split it down into hourly increments. And we can claim that all I have to do now is make it through the next hour. This works because our brain is built to be as efficient as possible with our willpower to save energy. We have a nearly limitless supply of willpower. However, we all reach a point when our brain says, "Nope, you've used enough. For today, that's all you'll get." As a result, when faced with significant work, your brain replies, "Nope, we can't accomplish this assignment. It's way too enormous. We don't have the necessary willpower." When you chunk, on the other hand, and focus your attention on one small portion at a time, your brain communicates to you, "Hey, you know we can do this. Here's a little extra willpower." When designing our routines, we must set a modest bar. We use chunking to obtain a little extra willpower by setting a low bar, which is the lowest amount of labor we allow ourselves to perform, just enough to keep us from breaking our habits. So how can we apply this to our daily lives? Rather than assuring yourself that you'll finish that 5-page paper right now, you'll gain more willpower, feel more driven, and do more. Dividing into small parts boosts our self-assurance. The second psychological component that determines our levels of willpower is confidence. The less willpower you need to do a task, the more confident you are about it. Let's say you'd like to shed 20 pounds. If I asked random individuals on the street how confident they were about this, most of them would reply they were not at all confident. Most individuals would answer, "Yeah, I could do it if we use chunking and reduce the weight to just 1 pound." It's all about the tiny victories when it comes to building confidence. You gain confidence in your long-term aim by paying attention to tiny achievements. You begin to believe that you can succeed. Tracking your progress is a terrific method to build confidence. Tracking your weight and gradually seeing it drop enhances your confidence. And going back to the gym or sticking to your diet takes less willpower. View of willpower is the third way we may alter our levels of willpower. How we think about willpower has a big impact on how much of it we have. For example, if you think willpower is limited, you'll lose it faster than someone who thinks it's boundless. So what are our options? So let's get down to business and establish the truth about willpower once and for all. The truth is that our levels of willpower greatly outnumber the quantity we use in a given day. Our brain simply enjoys putting a limit on it. And knowledge is the ability to exert greater control over one's willpower. So I like to think that through studying willpower, I've learned how to tap into my limitless willpower more effectively than the typical person, and that if you adopt this mindset, you'll find yourself with more willpower in the long term. Changing our identity is the fourth way we can impact our levels of willpower. When your identity is aligned with your goals and the behaviors you're trying to form, the amount of willpower necessary to keep to it is reduced. This is a lot easier said than done. How can we alter our persona? The greatest approach to do so is to use language with extreme caution. Instead of thinking "I can't smoke," I told myself I was going to quit. We should consider "I am not a smoker." Over time, you'll begin to believe this new identity, lowering the amount of willpower required to maintain this behavior. Another useful method is to replace words like "I can't," "I have to," and "I must" with "I want to." The first 3 phrases are what you would say if you were still identifying with the old you that you're attempting to alter. However, if you say "I want to," you're agreeing to your new identity. High-level thinking can also be employed to boost our motivation levels. People who spent more time thinking high-level thoughts throughout the day had much stronger willpower than those who pondered low-level ones. Low-level thinking is when you think about the short term and specifics, such as how you're going to get to the gym, how you're going to lose weight, and what foods you're going to eat. High-level thinking, on the other hand, is when you consider broad, long-term concepts. It's when you consider why it's so important to you. There's no harm in having low-level thoughts, because they're necessary for planning. However, it is preferable to devote more time to high-level thinking. High-level thoughts provide a sense of significance and purpose. When you consider why you're changing, you'll begin to believe that it's for your own good.